What's up, YouTube family? What's going on? It's your guy Mark here from Financial Abundance and Healthy Living. Hey, I hope you all are doing amazing today. Happy Friday, happy Saturday to you all in another country or whenever you watch this video. Hey, welcome to this channel. Welcome to the video. Man, I'm lit because I got some value for you all that I know and believe is going to change your life. So do not leave this video. Keep watching all the way to the end. I promise you, I'm going to make this make sense. And I'm going to make sure that this video is as short as humanly possible, while at the same time being very value packed, full of information that's going to help you. So comment, let me know what you like about the video. Check out the description box for products, services, any coaching or products, digital products that you would like. They'll be in the description box of this video. And you definitely want to subscribe and turn that notification bell on, because we're going to be having some special guests coming soon that's going to bless you all with a testimony about how they were able to get rid of halitosis, bad breath. And so I think that is very beneficial, very powerful, that people can learn from others' testimony, right? And so with that being said and out of the way, let's get into this video. So a subscriber asked if I could do a video talking about blood types and the A blood types or different blood types. So I'm going to do video segments about different blood types, but today I'm going to focus on the blood type A, right? So do you know, the question is, do you know your blood type? Do you know what your blood type is? If so, comment below. Let me know what your blood type is. If you are A, if you are a B, if you are AB, if you are O, or if you don't know, let me know in the comment section. All right. I think that's pretty cool to see how many A's we have, how many B's, how many, AB's, how many O's. All right. So let's get into this thing now. Again, I'm an A. My daughter's an A. I don't know if you all knew the American president, Lyndon B. Johnson, was an A. Richard Nixon was an A blood type. Jimmy Carter was an A blood type. And did you also know that Adolf Hitler was an A blood type? As mean and as just horrific and horrifying as he was an A blood type. Now, one thing we know about A's, according to studies and just doing a lot of personality evaluations on A blood types, and of course there was a lot of personality evaluations done on these presidents, right, of the United States of America. One would say that they were smart, right? They were very savvy. They were, pretty much real clever type people. However, they bottled up their anxiety, and they also struggled with anxiety a lot of times. And they tried to get along with others, except for Adolf Hitler, right? I wouldn't say he got along with other people, but for most people with personality types, they try to get along well with other people. However, on the contrary to that, they can explode. When they're upset, they can explode. So you guys let me know if that's true or not. I say, hey, Mark, it's true, or no, I don't agree with that. Let me know. But I have had a history of bottling up my feelings and my emotions over time, and then when I explode, I just lose it. It's like, dang, what happened to this dude? Like, what's up? Right? So I'm encouraging all healthy and good behaviors from all of you A's. However, that is what the personality studies have shown. All right. So I thought I'd give you all some fun facts that you can just really think about to really help you identify who you are yourself. All right, but let's jump into this A thing, because this A blood type, it really was interesting to me. Now, the A blood types appeared somewhere in Asia or the Middle East. I didn't know that, right, until I did some reading. And between 25,000 and 15,000 BC. So that's a very long time ago. And this period is known as the Stone Age, right? So the Stone Age period was pretty much when the A's kind of came up on the scene. And again, if you hear me say the A's, I'm just basically saying meaning blood type A, right? So the A's came on the scene, around this time. And the reason how they kind of migrated and moved about was because really the O's pushed them out. The O blood type pushed them out. The O's were more the hunters. They, did everything through hunting, through eating animal protein, killing their animals, eating, whatever they killed, they ate it, right? And so when that happened, it caused food sources to dry up. and people had to migrate, families and communities and colonies had to migrate to other areas within the country to find food. And so it was at that point where they started experimenting and cultivating different grains and livestock. And that's how pretty much everything changed. All right, let me get a drink of water. Refreshing. All right, excuse me. So that was pretty much how that happened. And eventually they spread it beyond Asia and the Middle East, and they moved into the Western Europe. So that's kind of where we are today with the blood type A. You know, that's kind of where it started from, it originated from, and it just kind of moved on. So blood is categorized into 4 categories. So we have the A blood type, we have the B blood type, we have the AB blood type, and we have the O blood type. Now, A has an A antigen, B has a B antigen, AB has both A and B antigens, and O has neither A or B. All right. So if you are a blood type A, that means that you carry antibodies against blood type B. All right. I want y'all to stay with me. All right. So if you are blood type A, right? So all the A's, if you're blood type A, you carry an antibody against a blood type B. All right. Meaning that an antibody is something that blocks, right? It tries to help you to stay healthy. It's like an antibody is something that protects you from getting sick or fighting off a disease or a virus. Okay, that's what an antibody is. All right, blood type B carries antibodies to A's, and blood type AB, there's no antibodies. All right, and blood type O, it basically carries the blood type A and B antibodies. All right, so I thought that was a cool fun fact for you all to know, right? That, you know, you have these antibodies that are designed to help protect your particular blood type. And if it's it feels like anything is invading that's other than your blood type, right? Then that's when these antibodies start to kind of kick in and try to do its thing. All right, so let's talk about antigens, right? And how they create these antibodies. So when your blood type antigen senses that a foreign antigen has entered the system, meaning your cells, all right, your body, the first thing it does is it creates antibodies, all right, which are specialized chemicals manufactured by the cell. So that's pretty much what it does. So they're specialized chemicals manufactured by the cells of the immune system, and what they're designed to do is they're designed to attach and tag the foreign antigen for destruction. So what they're designed to do is basically attack themselves to your system, attack yourself to the antigen and whatever the foreign antigen is, and start the destroying process. Antibodies, basically, they continue to battle against the antigen, right? So it's a continuous thing. Anything that tries to change or mutate their antigens into some new form the body doesn't recognize, that's when this problem happens. So let me repeat that. Anything that tries to change or mutate, right, their antigens into some new form the body doesn't recognize, that's when this process happens, right? The antibodies try to take over. All right, and when this happens, the antibody formulates, is called a gluon. Gluon is pretty much the nickname of what it's called. So it formulates this sticky gluon. All right, and then that's all right. So I hope you. Now, let's talk about lectins. Okay, so lectin is a protein, right? And once it's settled someplace in the body, what it does is it literally has a magnetic effect on your cells. All right, it has a magnetic effect on the cells, and what it does is it tends to clump the cells together. So again, you got the antibodies going on. It's in defense mode. It's trying to block whatever's going on. If it feels like a antigen is trying to hinder, then you've got these lectin proteins, and they kind of allow or make the cells kind of clump together, which you don't want your cells to start clumping together. And when the cells start to clump together, they are targeted for destruction as foreign invaders. That's basically how the body identifies them, as foreign invaders. They don't even identify it as your white blood cells or your red blood cells. Clumping causes, now this is what's important. When your cells start to clump up, right? And a lot of this you're not going to really be able to see unless you're able to put it underneath a microscope and really look at it from a scientific, a DNA perspective. But clumping causes irritable bowel syndrome. Clumping also causes cirrhosis of the liver. It causes intestinal issues, or it blocks the flow of blood through your kidneys. Right. So all of this is going on as these lectins, the lectin proteins are being ingested or digested in the system. You start to really experiment or experience an effect on your cells. A lot of times you don't know it, but if you're starting to have a lot of issues with your body, a lot of issues with your gut, 9 times out of 10, those lectin proteins have started to settle in. And now it's about your diet. It's about nutrition. It's about eating the right foods and making sure that the foods that you're eating are congruent with your blood type. Now, here's a fun fact that you all probably should know. The A's have low stomach acid. I believe we talked about this before. So if you have an A blood type, you automatically have a low stomach acid, right? And this is from birth. You have low stomach acid. And so the content that you're trying to eat and consume is just really, really difficult to break it down and digest it properly. And especially if you have the lectin proteins, you're consuming foods with a lot of lectin proteins that's triggering that, and it's producing lectins. A lot of tomatoes and things like that can produce lectins. Also a lot of like beans, like lima beans and lentils and stuff like that. A lot of the A blood types are not able to properly digest those lectins, the proteins, and so it can cause some crazy havoc. And again, you have low stomach acid as well. Now, here's something for you all to know if you don't already know, but the blood type A's, they flourish on a vegetarian diet. Sorry for all of you meat eaters, you meat lovers. I know you don't want to hear it. I get it. I understand. But you flourish on a blood type. All right. I know we're hearing a lot of stuff about the lion diet and this and that. You got to understand, you got to ask the question. Hey, those of you that are having results, or those that are having results from the lion diet, what is your blood type? You cannot skip that. You can't overlook it. What is your blood type? So if a person is on a lion diet, more than likely, if they're only eating red meat or beef, right, or steak, it's red meat, that doesn't do well with a blood type A. All right. Red meat is going to cause a lot of issues for an A blood type. All right. So if you are accustomed to eating meat, you'll lose weight faster if you are a A blood type and you decide to reduce meat, you are going to lose weight very fast. All right. When A's eat red meat, you feel sluggish and less energized than when you eat vegetables or protein. So just do a test, right? So one day go get you some red meat, right? Eat the red meat, and just see how you feel, right? If you are a blood type, just test it out to see if this information is valid or factual for you. But 9 times out of 10, you are definitely going to feel it. You're going to feel sluggish. You're going to feel extra tired. versus when you just eat regular vegetable proteins. You're going to definitely feel more energized and have more clarity, mental clarity, just more energized. Now type O's, right? And I know this video is not about O's, but I thought I'd just give you some fun facts. Type O's, they burn their meat as fuel. So they can they can consume a lot more meat than an A blood type, right? Because when they consume it, O's consume meat, they burn their meat as fuel. Whereas a type A, they store the meat as fat. All right. And so that's the difference between the two blood types. The reason is the stomach acid in the O's have higher levels. So they have higher levels of stomach acid. So that's something that you want to also be aware of. Also, there was a study showing that type A's and type ABs have a tougher time getting rid of severe yeast overgrowth. So a lot of them struggle with more, yeast overgrowth. They may experience more coat whiting on the tongue, more oral thrush, more vaginal type issues with just with their diet, or they may experience just more yeast type situations versus someone that has a different blood type like an AB or O. And especially after using antibiotics, type A's and ABs, they develop more yeast infections after antibiotic usage. So definitely be careful with using, a lot of antibiotics. Now, let's talk about exercise, and then we're going to talk about diet, and then we're going to be off of this video. But type A exercise should be something more relaxing, right? More calming. In through your nose, out through your mouth. In through your nose, out through your mouth. So more relaxation type exercises to help you to reduce stress. Listening to nice scenery music, meditation music like rain or water or just waves, right? Just visualizing yourself at another place. We used to call it in mental health, visual learning or visual relaxation. I forgot the term we used to call it, but you want to do more meditation type techniques to help you to relax. Yoga is one thing they call it. You can do abdominal breathing. Like I said, in through your nose, out through your mouth, using your diaphragm, your abdominal muscles. That's pretty much what you want to do. All right. For relaxation and really, just really feeling better. They do not recommend a whole lot of physical exercise for the A, right? That I'm looking at. And for A blood types, they recommending you, if you'd like to dancing for 30 to 45 minutes, 2 to 3 times a week. Aerobics, doing low impact aerobics for 30 to 45 minutes, 2 to 3 times a week. Stretching for 15 minutes, right? 3 to 5 times per week. And that's crazy. Swimming 30 minutes, 3 to 4 times a week. So I guess you can pick and choose, but these are maybe some low intensity type exercises. Martial arts, 2 to 3 times a week. As you notice, the more physical things are, the less amount of time or the less amount of frequency per week. All right. And of course, yoga, 30 minutes is the duration. We're talking 3 to 5 times per week. So this is how type A's really function. They really flourish off of low intensity type exercises and working out. So this is something you definitely want to look into. All right, so for the A's, we're going to talk about some foods that encourage weight gain and also foods that are poorly digested. Now again, this is not every food, but I'm just giving you a general idea. Definitely, if you want to learn more information about the blood types, I'll leave a link in the description box of this video. But anyway, meat for A blood type is poorly digested and it is stored as fat. So that's a problem, right? Dairy products, pretty much the nutrient metabolism. It increases mucosas, and it's really not the best for you. Kidney beans, right? They interfere with digestive enzymes, and so we don't need anything interfering with our digestive enzymes, right? Because we already have low stomach acid, right? Lima beans also interfere with the digestive enzymes, and it's a slow metabolic rate. And in wheat, we can have some wheat, but however, too much wheat is still not good for the A blood type. All right. And so now the meats and poultry, I'm just going to give a quick meats. African American, for the men, you're only eating 4 to 6 ounces, right, of lean red meat, 0 to 1 time per week. If you're Caucasian, 0 times. If you're Asian, 0 to 1 time per week. All right. For women, 2 to 5 ounces of lean red meat. And again, 0 to 1 time per week. Caucasian, 0 times a week. If you're Asian, 0 to 1 time per week. Poultry for men, all right, 4 to 6 ounces, 0 to 3 times a week if you're African or African American, 0 to 3 times a week if you're Caucasian, all right, and 1 to 4 times per week if you are Asian. And so the Asians, as a A blood type, you can eat it anywhere from 1 to 4 times a week, right? But only 4 to 6 ounces. So that's why I tell you all, a lot of you are overeating meat, right? Or poultry, you're overeating it. For women, 2 to 5 ounces, and the numbers are still the same. I'll leave the numbers up here, and that includes women and children for both sections. All right. So again, to receive the greatest benefits, you must have portion control. All right. Now, in terms of seafood, right? Because some of you are probably like, hey, can I eat seafood? So for seafood, all recommended seafood, all right, 4 to 6 ounces is the portion size. African is 0 to 3 times a week. Caucasian, 1 to 4 times a week. And Asian, 1 to 4 times a week. So Africans actually have to intake the least amount of seafood versus everyone else. Now, you want to avoid things like bacon, beef, beef ground or ground beef, buffalo, duck, goose, ham, heart, lamb, liver, mutton, right? Quail, Vincentveal, rabbit, pork, all of that. You want to avoid it if you are a blood type. Now, what's neutral is turkey is neutral, chicken is neutral, and Cornish hens is neutral. All right. Meaning that, you can still eat it, but again, you have to stick to that the chart, 0 to 3 times or 0 to 1 to 4 times per week. All right. Now, what's highly beneficial for a blood type, if you are going to eat some seafood, red snapper, I like that. Rainbow, right? Trout, salmon. A lot of us talk about salmon, snail, whitefish, silver perch, yellow perch, sea trout, packerel, monkfish, mackerel, grouper, codfish, and carp. So these are highly beneficial to the A blood type. But again, you still have to stay within that range. If you're African American, 0 to 3 times a week. Caucasian, 1 to 4 times a week. And if you're Asian, 1 to 4 times a week. And you want to avoid clams, conch, bluefish, catfish. All right, those are like bottom feeders, and so they don't really provide a whole lot of nutritional value. Crabs, we're big crab fans over here. Flounder, I love flounder. So it's not the best for blood type A's. All right. Frog, oysters, octopus, mussels, lobster, all of that, turtle, sole, shrimp, shad, and the list goes on, right? You want to avoid those type of foods. Now let's talk about eggs and dairy, and we're wrapping up here. So eggs and dairy. So eggs, portion size is 1 egg. You can do this if you're African, 1 to 3 times per week. Caucasian, 1 to 3 times per week. And if you're Asian, 1 to 3 times per week. So that's pretty even across the board. But 1 egg, 1 egg, not 2, not 3, not 4. All right, that sounds like LeBron James then. All right, back on track. Cheese, 2 ounces of cheese, not a whole glob of cheese, not queso, right? Not a bunch of shredded cheese, 2 ounces of cheese. If you're African, 1 to 3 times per week. Caucasian, 2 to 4 times a week. So it seems like they're able to eat a little bit more. All right. And Asian, if you're Asian, you get 0. If you are A blood type, 0 amounts of cheese for the week. Don't feel bad, Asians. If you're watching and you're Asian, don't worry about it. To me, you're not missing out on anything. All right, yogurt, 4 to 6 ounces. If you're African, no yogurt. Man, no yogurt. It has no beneficial, no nutritional value for you. All right, if you're Caucasian, 1 to 3 times a week. And if you're Asian, 0 to 3 times a week. And milk, right? Milk. Right? I have a lot of Caucasian friends that can just drink milk straight from the cup, like no 2% watered down. I mean, we talking about the red top. For those of you in the United States, you know the red top is the purest. Like, it's going to turn knots in your stomach with gas, right? So I know people like that. They can just drink it. It doesn't bother them. So anyway, here's why. African American, if you're African or just African, 0 times a week. And this is 4 to 6 ounces. You get 0 times a week. If you're Caucasian, you get 0 to 4 times a week. And if you're Asian, you're like us, man. And again, hey, Asians, we're family. You know, we're family. All right, 0 times a week. All right, so you really don't need a whole lot. Now, soy milk is highly beneficial, so that's an alternative that you guys can go with. Of course, what's neutral would be things like kefir, mozzarella, low fat, ricotta, goat milk. So those are some neutral, and you want to avoid blue cheese, butter, buttermilk, cottage, cheddar, casein, cream cheese. Go to American cheese. You know, you want to avoid those types of dairy. All right, and vegetables is the final thing, right? So for the vegetables, raw vegetables, 1 cup, you're looking at 3 to 6 times a week for African. Caucasian, 2 to 5 times a week, and Asian, 2 to 5 times a week. Vegetables, if you cook it, looking at 1 cup of cooked vegetables, 1 to 4 times per week. 3 to 6 if you're African, 3 to 6 times per week if you're Caucasian, and 3 to 6 times a week if you're Asian. And soy products, 6 to 8 ounces of soy products per week. All right. You're looking at 4 to 6 times per week if you're African, 4 to 6 times per week if you are Caucasian, and 5 to 7 times per week if you are Asian. So maybe that's why a lot of Asians use a lot of soy. It's just something that they're used to. But anyway, I hope this helps, man. I hope you all got a lot of value from this information, and we could have continued to go on and on, but I did not want to make this video extremely long. It was already long enough. All right. And of course, fruits, you can eat as many fruits as you want. All right. 3 to 5 ounces, 3 to 4 times per day. And that's equal across the board. African, Caucasian, and Asian. 3 to 5 ounces, 3 to 4 times a day. So with that being said, you all, let me know what you thought about the video. I know it was a lot, but I believe if you can turn your diet around, you can feel better. Your digestive system will actually correct itself. You will heal. You will eliminate better. You will prevent yourself from having heart disease, diabetes, cancer, and gaining weight. And with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'll see you all on the next one. Take care.